Welcome back, friends. It's Anders. Today, we're making more cocktail syrups. In a previous video, we made 4 basic cocktail syrups, right here if you haven't had a chance to see it. But these are 4 more cocktail syrups. And honestly, I don't use them as often as the others, but they are equally as important. And they're good at non-alcoholic cocktails, dealer's choice cocktails, whatever. I'm gonna show you how I make my passion fruit syrup, raspberry syrup, ginger syrup, and cream of coconut. Also, if you're new to the channel, welcome. We're happy to have you. Hit that subscribe button for more sips, tips, and recipes. And let's get started. First, passion fruit syrup. Last time I talked about how I like to use semi-rich syrups, and this is gonna be a semi-rich syrup. The ratio is gonna be 1.5 parts sugar to 1 part water, and I like that ratio because it is not quite as sweet as a rich syrup, but it offers more texture than a straight simple syrup. Best of both worlds. So we're gonna start with passion fruit. And this is a great syrup because it is called for in a number of tiki drinks, and whenever I use it, people love it. I think people just love passion fruit. I know I do. It reminds me of fruit roll-ups, my childhood. But here in Chicago, it is hard to come by fresh passion fruit. So what I found really works is the frozen passion fruit pulp by Goya. It's a 14-ounce package, and I took the time to thaw this one out because, well, so you don't have to watch me hacking away at a frozen chunk of passion fruit. This will be my liquid for this syrup. It's that easy. It's just gonna be 1 part this and 1.5 parts sugar. So we'll start by adding into a pot the passion fruit pulp. Oh, it's all gooey. Every drop. Yeah, as far as like how this syrup tastes, it tastes way better than it looks in this bag. It's the biggest upside of this syrup. And 2.5 cups of sugar. I'm gonna stir to combine over medium heat. You don't need to bring it up to a boil, just enough to combine. It's really that easy. Also, enjoy the smell because it smells really pleasant. On medium heat, it will just take a couple minutes to combine. Stir constantly and then check every so often, but it doesn't take long at all. You'll know it's starting to come together when it starts being a little bit more translucent. And it is starting to come together, yeah. Today's already a success. Turn that off. So I'm sorry if this fan is really loud. I'll try to speak up so you can hear me in the back. The passion fruit syrup is ready. Take this off the heat and let it cool, and then put it into a fancy bottle or a jar or something to store it in. Magic. So it's gonna make about 1 quart. This is what I'm gonna pour from, and then I'm gonna store this in the freezer. So now I can wash the pot, and we'll go on to next, which is raspberry syrup. Okay, raspberry syrup. This is not called for in a lot of cocktails, but the Clover Club is a classic that is probably the most popular. But it's also good in non-alcoholic drinks, and you could pour this over pancakes and it would be fantastic. It's just raspberries, sugar, and water, and thyme. So we're gonna start by making a simple syrup. And for this one, I'm doing a 1-to-1 simple syrup. That's because raspberries, berries in general, have pectin. And pectin will help naturally thicken the syrup. So I don't need to have a semi-rich syrup. I can just use a straight 1-to-1 simple syrup, and it'll give me the texture that I want. So I'm gonna start by making a 1-to-1 simple syrup. Oh no, I need sugar. Ta-da! So I'll start with 3/4 cup of water and 3/4 cup of sugar. Plain white sugar. You could use brown sugar if you wanted, I suppose. I won't stop you. And then combine over heat. Keep stirring. Gonna turn this up, maybe make it go a little faster. Set it aside, because now we're gonna deal with the berries. Take a 6-ounce package of raspberries and dump it into a jar. Now I'm gonna give it a really quick muddle, just to break it up and get some of the juice out, but I don't wanna pulverize it. So I'm just going to tap, tap, tap. That's pretty good. Once we've done that, which we have, we can just pour the simple syrup right on top. Now we can cap it and put this in the fridge and let it sit overnight up to 24 hours and just let the raspberries do their job. Do your job. Then after 24 hours, we can strain off the fruit and the seeds. You can just use a fine mesh strainer, like a cocktail strainer. You'll have to wash out seeds later, but the syrup will be a nice bright red color and it's ready to go. Next, now the ginger syrup. Ginger syrup. There are a couple different ways to make ginger syrup. And if you're low on time and you want a really easy way to make it, you just take hot water, sugar, and diced up ginger, and you can blend it up in a blender. And then strain it off, and you're good to go. The only thing is you need a really fine mesh strainer for the ginger fibers. And I don't have one here at home. You need something like a chinois or a nut milk bag, which I don't have. So I'm gonna be doing the standard infusion style. It's a little bit more involved because you have to make this a little bit more user-friendly. You're gonna start with 250 grams of ginger. And I just wanna say I'm really proud of myself because I picked this out at the grocery store without weighing it, and I came home and weighed it, and it was 250 grams, exactly. I'm gonna peel the ginger, but you don't have to peel the ginger. If you don't peel the ginger syrup is just gonna be a little bit darker. It's fine. So I like to peel it just to make sure you get the dirt away. If I don't get everything, it's not the end of the world. For peeling a ginger, you may have heard this, but a spoon works really well. And when I do this, I go right for the spots where I see the dirt. Maybe with a little magic editing, we can make this look like I'm really fast at it. It's like a giraffe. All right, I better stop before the camera battery runs out. Clean up your workspace. Remember, a clean bar is a happy bar. Now, we can slice up the ginger into little discs. You might find in the little crevices pockets of dirt, and you can just cut those out. So once it's sliced up, set it aside. We'll get to it. And now we can make the simple syrup. For this syrup, we're gonna go back to the semi-rich syrup. So 1.5 cups of sugar and 1 cup of water. Combine over heat. Again, this is only gonna take a few minutes. Keep stirring. If you start with hot water, it'll go faster. And everything's come together. Turn off the heat for a moment. Because now I'm going to add the ginger. And then over low heat, simmer for 3 to 5 minutes. Okay, so now I'm gonna take it off the heat. I'm gonna put this into a big jar, let it steep for 1 hour, and then chill in the fridge for up to 24 hours. Once it's done, strain off the ginger with a fine mesh strainer. One more syrup and we can call it. We can get out of here. The cream of coconut. So cream of coconut is called for most in tiki drinks. For years, I've been the biggest fan of Coco Lopez. In fact, other cream of coconuts to me taste like suntan lotion, and Coco Lopez is actually really good, real coconut flavor. However, it's not available everywhere. And if you want a cream of coconut that doesn't have emulsifiers and preservatives and stabilizers, then this recipe is the perfect recipe because it is extremely simple. This is the only recipe that is not mine. I found this recipe on artofdrink.com and it's really good. I feel I should tell you and give credit where credit's due. In the recipe on artofdrink.com, they do have optional 1 tablespoon of coconut powder. And I went to the store and I could not find coconut powder. I did look online and you can purchase it, but I don't think it's necessary. That's if you want more coconut flavor, but I think you get plenty coconut with this recipe. Do what you do. I'm gonna start with 400 milliliters, which is 1 can of full fat coconut milk. Then add 1 3/4 cup of white sugar and a pinch of salt. Combine over heat. Again, don't bring it up to a boil, just enough to combine. This little burner's getting a workout. When you start stirring, it's gonna be bright white and opaque. But then as it heats up and it comes together, it's gonna become more translucent. So that's how you know when it's complete. I've been working with Coco Lopez cream of coconut for years. In fact, it was probably about 12 or 15 years ago. I had come back from Puerto Rico, and so I went out and bought Coco Lopez because I was obsessed with pina coladas. And I opened the can and it separates. You get all the fats really go to the top, and I thought that my can was bad. So I got another can and it did the same thing. So I actually contacted Coco Lopez and I said, hey, your cream of coconut is separated and is it still good? Can I use it? And they waited a good long while and just wrote back, it's fine. It's fine. I now am smarter now. I was not always this brilliant. Okay, starting to become more translucent. That's it. I'm gonna kill the heat, stir and let it cool down a little bit. If you really get into bartending, you find most of your time is prepping. So if you like bartending, you better learn how to like prepping. Cutting fruit, making syrups, polishing glassware. Enough to fill this jar with a little bit extra. So I can use up this last bit and freeze this. Yeah, that's it. Those are our syrups. You don't have to put them in cocktails. You can put them in non-alcoholic drinks, or pour them over pancakes, or over waffles, or over French toast, or dip cookies in them. Endless possibilities, people. You can pour these on the counter and attract ants if you want. I don't care, but enjoy them. And keep them in the refrigerator. The shelf life will be about 2 weeks to a month. If you wanna hang on to them a little bit longer, put them in the freezer and they will last indefinitely. If you like this video, like and subscribe. Share it with friends if you have friends who are really into sugar. And I will see you next time. Cheers. All right, bye.